Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to fly Carenado's 182RG. It just came out and I'm really excited to fly it. So as you can see here, excellent detail. That's the outside of it. So this is the version of the 182RG that has the smaller gas tanks. So when we go to our weight and balance and we do fulls, you only got 30 gallons on each side. With the long range tanks, it's actually 40 gallons on each side. So this is the shorter range 182RG. Okay, so this is the inside. So as per typical of the Cessna RG series, particularly the 172 and 182, what you'll notice over here is that this is your avionics area here. So you can turn on, you can turn on your avionics on and off here. Of course, Carenado does not do the circuit breakers, so none of the circuit breakers actually work. So if you're doing emergencies and you need to pull a circuit breaker, you're gonna have to simulate that. Over here, you have the iPad. So with the iPad, if you have the you can do all the standard things that you can do with the Carenado airplanes. Your static elements. Do you want a pilot, co-pilot? Let's see, I don't want a co-pilot today. Why not? And doors are open, closed. So if I want to open a door, well, open the co-pilot's door. There you go. You got open door. You can close the door. Close and locked. I wonder if you can open a window. You can open the window if you want to. And in the summertime, I highly suggest you do. Now, if you have a GTN 750, you can use that. So the GTN 750, we can click on it. I have it installed. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And I have a GTN 750. But what I'm going to do today, though, is I'm going to run the GNS 530 system today. So, of course, you can set all your things up with the iPad. Of course, here are your engine monitoring gauges, your oil pressure, oil temperature, cylinder head temperature, left and right fuel tanks, manifold pressure gauge, exhaust gas temperature gauge, and your RPM gauge here. These are your environmentals, so your cabin heat, cabin air, your defroster, flap lever, full flaps in this airplane. I believe it's 30 degrees. There you have your mixture, props, your throttle, and carb heat. So the 182RG is a carbureted engine, so you're going to have to learn how to use a carb heat, especially when you fly in colder areas. Here's your transponder. This is an old school transponder. Your ADF, which they're phasing out. As I said before, the FAA is phasing out the non-directional beacon, so eventually this piece of equipment is going to become obsolete. Here's your autopilot, nav radio 2, nav radio 1, and your GPS. Your intercoms. This is a really nice intercom set they added to it. There's your one of your VORs. I believe that'd be number 2. And number 1 is here, your HSI. So your number 1 your number 1 VOR is connected to the HSI, as well as the GPS is also connected to the HSI. Vertical speed, and if you notice it's an older altimeter, the newer ones have the 4 lines in between, the 0 to 1, the 1 to 2. This one only has 1, so it halves it. So just keep that in mind. You select altitudes. There is your attitude indicator, altimeter, turn coordinator, clock. This is for your fuel here. You can tells you fuel flow, keep track of how much fuel you actually have in the tank. You know, it does all those calculations. It's actually really pretty cool. This is another fuel pressure gauge, suction gauge. Over here's your ELT, which you can manipulate. Master switch, auxiliary fuel tanks, auxiliary fuel switch, starter, magnetos, internal lighting, pitot heat, your other exterior lights, your gear up and down lights, your gear indication lights. Of course, we have dual brakes. Of course, your gear lever. You can actually manipulate the microphone. You can push the button here on the microphone. And here's your pitch trim. And here's your rudder trim, which is really nice to have because you can actually, in some Cessnas, you can actually use the autopilot and it'll follow the course, but your coordinator, this ball and your turn coordinator, will be a little outside. And so to get the best efficiency of the airplane, you have to step on the left or right rudder and center the ball. And then you would have to hold that rudder the whole flight. Been there, done that. So having a rudder trim is real nice. Of course, are your cowl flaps. Let's take those down, see where they are outside the airplane. So those are cowl flaps. Let's see where they are. They're closed. Let's see what they look like when they're open. There you go. Cowl flaps are right here. So it actually defaults to cowl flaps being open when you start the airplane. All right, so when we go back here, of course, you have your back seats. Now, I've actually never flown in a 182RG. I've sat in one. They're actually pretty roomy for Cessnas anyway. So this back seat isn't too bad in real life. Overall, it's bigger than a 172. So you're less likely to bump shoulders, things like that, if you're an average size person. Okay, so one last thing is your, you got some more lights up here. And then you've got your outside air temperature or thermometer right here for the outside air temperature. You got one right here as well. All right, so that's a tour of the inside of the cockpit. I think Carenado rendered this pretty well. So let's go ahead and start it. Turn the master switch on. And of course, you know I have a pilot's operating handbook for this airplane, so I will be sharing that in the description, and you can download it as you need to. Let's see, so master switch on, mixture rich, carb heat cold, So in this airplane, you don't use the auxiliary fuel pump. You use a primer, so you just give it a couple squirts. Maybe 3 for good measure. Okay, mixture rich, car heat cold. Engine's been primed. Look around. Hey guy, get out the way. Clear prop. Throttle 1/4 of an inch. Clear prop. And that is how you start a carbureted airplane engine. So we have a nice idle. Let's check all our gauges. Make sure we're getting fuel flow. Turn our avionics on. All right, so these haven't picked up yet. The engine's still cold. Let it warm up a little bit. Just go ahead and turn on our transponder to alt so we don't forget. Let's get the weather at KSET. So today we're flying from KSET or St. Charles Smart Airport in Missouri to KTAZ, which is Taylorville Municipal in Taylorville, Illinois, which is actually just southeast of Springfield, Illinois. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see if I have a line. Okay, so herein lies a problem. For some reason, my flight plan did not carry over into my GPS. So if you take off and then you try to activate your autopilot to follow a GPS, it won't do it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to press direct to my destination since I'm on the origin. So we'll go direct. Okay. Let's see. T. A. Oops. A. C. All right, there we go. So now we have our line. I don't know why that didn't carry over, and I also don't know why I'm having a sound issue. So I think some of these things may be some bugs that Carenado may have to work out. This is the first version, so far so good. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to do our run up. So we step on the brakes here. Socks got us right there. So. All right, run up. I'm gonna run up to 2,000 RPM, or 1,800 actually. Okay, check the left mag. That's good. Check the right mag. That's good. Let's bring the props to low RPM. Okay, we should see a change in oil pressure, a change in manifold pressure, and a change in RPM. All right, all the gauges seem to be in the green. And last but not least, we'll check the carb heat. We should have a reduction in both manifold pressure and RPM. All right. Let's go ahead and grab ATIS. So we'll make sure our altimeter is set correctly. Okay, so according to this, winds are favoring runway 18, 4 knot headwind. So we're going to use runway 18 for takeoff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and silence this. That's 102 at 6. Calculate that. 102, 6. Yeah, so we're still at, let's see, like 9. See if that does any better. Yeah, runway 9 actually is better. So we're going to go over to runway 9. Windsock confirmed it. All right, so I'm going to stop here, make sure nobody's on final. Let's look and see what we can see. Still nobody on final. Of course, I also have traffic turned off, so that's not a problem. So we'll make sure compasses match RDG, or in this case, our HSI. Autopilot is off. We're going to set our transponder to 1200. And we would announce Cessna 701 Tango Delta, Departing runway 9, St. Charles. Let's go ahead and turn on all of our lights. CNBC. And we're off. Gear up. We'll go ahead and turn to our heading and go up to 3,500. Before we turn on the autopilot, we're going to do some maneuvers and kind of see how this flies. So far, the climb out is about right. Bring our manifold pressure back down. So we're on an en route climb and cruise. So we're going to do about 24 and maybe 22, 23 inches of manifold pressure for cruise. It's a little bit over 75% power, so we'll back it down a little bit. There we go. Set our altitude, so when I'm ready for the 500. So we're at 2,500, 500 feet to go. Or 1,000 feet to go, not 500. Cages in the green still. So now what I'm going to do is working on trimming the airplane out. I'm going to see if I can get this to trim out and climb without having to use the autopilot. No, not really. Alright, so let's go ahead and trim this down. So one thing about Microsoft and computer planes in general, it's pretty difficult to trim them just right. Alright, so I'm going to do a couple of turns here. So I'm going to do a steep turn to the left. And I'm going to descend back to our 3500 while I'm at it. It's actually not that steep, so I'm going to go to 45 degrees. Too bad. Not too bad at all. And we're going to try the other side. Well, it handles about like a Cessna would. Not too bad. So let's see. We'll do a power on stall. Just slow it down real quick. Just hit the microphone. Now, with the Cessnas, I'm expecting it to drop a wing, even though I'm in coordinated flight. But I do not expect to go into a spin because I'm in coordinated flight. There's a stall warning. A little aggressive. Alright, so let's go ahead and get back to our... That's a little aggressive for, even for a Cessna, but... You know, it is what it is. Alright, let's get back on our heading. And climb back up to our altitude. We're at 3,500. Let's back off on our prop a little bit. 2,400 RPM. There we go. All right, so now let's try our autopilot. Autopilot on. And we'll go nav mode and altitude mode. All right. So it looks like the autopilot's taking us to our course line. And I think it's going to descend us down to our altitude. Hopefully we can pick up some speed here. Right now we've got 128 knots ground speed. So it's going to take us roughly 22 minutes and 28 seconds to get to our destination. We're doing this on 9.3 gallons per hour. Let's see. Turn this off. Look at the fuel totalizer. All right, so it's going to take us 14 gallons to get to our destination. Didn't program any kind of reserve. We got 6 hours worth of fuel. Okay, so this little button here can't deal with, and we can deal with this button here. So if you want to learn how to use this, it's a fuel totalizer. I don't even know who makes it, but you could do some research and learn how to use this thing. So I only know part of it just because I can just read things. If you happen to know how to use one of these, feel free to let me know in the comments. Here's our clock, which we can set. Lean our mixture out a little bit. So if I enrich the mixture, let's look at this. So I'm going to enrich the mixture. Now when I pull this, there we go. Let's see what happens to our exhaust gas temperature. So this tracks like it should. Let's take a look at it in flight on the outside. those lights are on. Also, the cowl flaps open, so it's running pretty cool. Now, if you've noticed, the airplane doesn't have any strobe lights. It only has nav lights. Temperature gauge. And we've got a nice 134 knot ground speed. So close the cowl flap, see if things get any warmer. So I'm going to look and see if my exhaust gas temperature gets warmer. I'm also going to look at my cylinder head temperature, see if they increase. Looks like they're just getting at it either way. Clock's indicating the right time. Changes on the cylinder head tip. I actually got a little bit more. See if I can pick up KTAZ's ATIS. Actually, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try to dial it directly in here. See what we get. Turn this off so I can dial it. So we'll see if I can enter it directly into the nav1 or COM1. See what we get. So the ATIS for KTAZ. There we go. Like 1-8.
Automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 162 at 6. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 260, dew point 10 feet. Altimeter 2994.
Traffic advisory frequency directly.
2000 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 260, dew point 10 feet. Altimeter 2992. Kilo Tango Alpha Zulu, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 162 at 6. Visibility 10. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu.
That's not what I meant to do.
Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 270, dew point 10 C, altimeter 2992. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 270, dew point 10 C, altimeter 2992. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind calm. Kilo Tango Alpha Zulu, automated weather observation 2000
I don't know what to do. Silence it now at this
Wind
point.
162 at 6. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 260, dew point 10 feet. Altimeter 2994. Tree Lima Foxtrot. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind
That's
calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 270, dew point 10 C, altimeter 2992. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha, automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 270, dew point 10 C,
minutes left.
Sky condition, few clouds, 4,800 feet. Temperature,
Okay.
Victor Lima Alpha automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800
See, I should be announcing something here.
Temperature 27 feet. 1 Charlie 1 airport information Golf 2000
Let's try this.
Wind calm. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 27 feet, 2.10 C, altimeter 2992. Kilo Victor Lima Alpha automated weather observation 20.
I don't know what just happened with this. This is
Wind calm. Visibility 10.
I should be able to switch in and out.
Few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 27 feet, 2.10 C, altimeter 2992.
So I guess if you put this in manually,
Victor Lima Alpha automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind calm.
so we'll try COM 2. See what happens.
Kilo Tango
There we
Alpha
go.
Zulu traffic 701 Tango Delta 11 miles southwest 3,600 feet inbound to land runway 18.
So I don't know what that was about. I should have been able to change those frequencies, but things happen. All right, so let's get our forward light and check this out the way. Fuel's on both. So I'm going to select the fullest tank. Seatbelts on. Everybody's upright. Close and lock. Carpet is off. So we got about 4 minutes. And we're going to make left traffic for one-way 18. So we'll go ahead and send out to 2,100 feet. So we're going to go do a midfield entry. So we'll go ahead and turn off the autopilot. Interesting fact about Taylorville, they do parachute jumping. So if you're ever in the area, make sure you're mindful of the possible parachute jumpers. what that is, that's a gear warning. Since I have a low power setting, it's assuming you're trying to land, so it'll let you know your gear isn't down. Okay, there's the airport. Slow down a little bit. Get back up to 2100. So I should be crossing at or above pattern altitude. Actually 500 feet above pattern altitude. There we go. So go ahead, turn my downwind.
Kilo Tango Alpha Zulu traffic 701 Tango Delta is on downwind runway 18.
Oops. See, turn on all my lights. All right, I was way too high. I gotta get back down to pattern altitude. First, knock the flaps in. Now some turning final. I don't know what's up with the sound. There we go. A little bit far, but I lost track of the airport.
Kilo Tango Alpha Zulu traffic 701 Tango Delta is on final runway 18 to land.
Okay, gear down, mixture rich, props are forward. So I'm going to pause here for a second. And let's see. We can look in our mirror, see if the gear is down. Okay, well, it's not showing that the gear is down. It should. Let's look at So the gear are down. So what you should have seen in the mirror is that these gear are down. That's what the mirror is for. We also have a green light here saying our gear is down. So there should be a landing gear showing here. So they're gonna have to fix that. That's a little bug. You should see a landing gear there. All right, let's resume. Touch the flaps. And there we are. We have arrived. Normally I'd be sitting this way the whole time, but I don't have my computer set up for this view, so I just have to move it from time to time. Just pull over the threshold. Turn out our lights. Leave the landing and taxi light on since we're landing and taxiing, but everybody else. Bring up the flaps. Just head in. And we can just stop right here. All right. So we're here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the airplane down. Make sure. Mags, master. Now we can take a look from the outside and get my final thoughts. The airplane flew about like I would expect the 182RG to fly. So on that aspect, Carenado did a good job. They also did a good job with the rendering of the airplane. So on that they did a good job. I did catch a couple of bugs. One bug being when the landing gear is down, there should be a reflection in the mirror saying that the landing gear is down. That's what it's for. Other than that, the transition from putting the flight plan into Microsoft Flight Sim to it actually showing up on the GPS, that didn't work out, so we just had to go and press the direct button and enter it in manually. And of course, once you enter things in manually, evidently you might be stuck with it. I don't know. Somebody toy with that and find out, let me know. But overall, I think for first version, you know, minus the bugs, it's a good airplane. So not bad at all. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.